Hey guys, so today I'm going to be taking you through the books that I read in February, and I'm getting sick. So if you thought I sounded monotone before, just wait. Welcome back to That Cozy Book Nook, everyone. Hi, if you're new, my name is Tori, and I read 3 books in February, and I'm just going to take you through all of them as efficiently as possible. And these are all spoiler-free reviews. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Did I mention that I read 3 books? I can't even remember. My brain is foggy already because I'm blaming my coworker. She's been sick. The first book that I read in February was The Edge of Never, and this is by J.A. Redmersky. This is a new age... Foggy brain. This is a new adult contemporary romance novel, and this is about a 20-year-old girl named Cameron. She's going through some things, and kind of the tipping point of that is an argument that she gets into with her best friend, and so that kind of prompts Cameron to take her keys, her wallet, hop a Greyhound bus to nowhere. She gets on the Greyhound bus, and that is where she meets this boy, or he's 25, so this man named Andrew Parrish. And Andrew, he has his own set of problems as well. He shows Cameron a different side of life, kind of points out how much of a people pleaser she likes to be, and the start of their relationship changes the way that she views a lot of things in the world, and from there it's just their relationship progresses. I didn't like this book. The narrative reads the same way that Cameron speaks, and that after a while just got so annoying. It really cheapened, I feel, the story that was trying to be told. The narrative is just littered with oh my gods and literallys, and it was just so consistent all the way through that it almost felt like after a while that I was in the mind of someone who was so much younger than 20 years old. Cameron's thought process was just all over the place, and really took something away from the story for me. The second issue that I really had with it is how aimless it felt. Cameron, and that's kind of the foundation of it. Cameron boards this bus and she doesn't know where she's going, but that sentiment carries throughout the entire book, and so you really don't know where they're going. It becomes a very much kind of road trippy sort of story. The whole thing just felt aimless, and I'm reading it just wondering, where is this going? And not like in a good way, and I didn't know where it was going to end, and I didn't really care. I really feel like I'm being like moody talking about this book. I don't know if that's just sick me or the fact that I just really didn't like it is kind of catching up to me. And the last thing is, if I had a quarter, not even, if I had a nickel for every time the word slut was used in reference to a woman or a girl who wasn't Cameron, I could buy myself a second bookshelf that I so obviously need. The next book that I read in February was We All Looked Up, and this is by Tommy Wallach. It follows a group of teenagers who they're in their last year of high school, and they learn, like the rest of the world, that there is an asteroid coming to destroy Earth. Now, I really love post-apocalyptic fiction. The Road, Station 11, The Stand, I'm a huge fan, but this is the first time that I've read a post-apocalyptic work where teenagers are the sole focus, and I think that was so smart on Tommy Wallach's part, because with teenagers you get something that's totally different, because these are people who, not that any other age group is not important, but these are fresh adults. They're still kids sort of, and they're on the brink of adulthood, and they think that they have their whole lives in front of them. Some of them are experiencing their first breakups and fights with parents and all this kind of stuff, and just kind of grappling with the fact that, just kind of grappling with identity in general, and to have this impending event that is going to wipe out the population. To think about it on that level, I was just having such an existential crisis reading this book. I have such an eclectic group of characters, and there are a lot of characters in here, but this book is only told from the perspective of 4 of them, 2 boys and 2 girls. And so, we have the artist and the jock and the slacker and the smart girl who does everything right. And so this impending apocalyptic event kind of brings them together in interesting and new ways as they try to navigate the life that they still have. I really think in that regard this book was awesome. However, towards the end things started getting a little silly. We just really started going whoo, like that real fast. Oh, and there's one thing in here. I'm really not a fan of, what is that trope? I don't even know if there's like a real name for it, but that trope where a problem could honestly be solved if 2 characters just talk talk. But you know, overall, I did think this was a solid read, and I did end up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. And if you're interested, don't go into it thinking that it's all about the apocalypse, because it's very much about these characters in life and navigating high school, or what's left of it. I think that alone is interesting and special. And then the last book that I read in February was, well, actually it's a poetry collection. This is Milk and Honey, and this is by Ruby Kaur. Now, hold on to your bookshelves, people. I'm gonna say something a little controversial. I wasn't crazy about this. And you know what? I don't know how to review or talk about poetry because I don't read a lot of poetry. This is probably the second poetry collection I've read in maybe a year. You know, when a collection like this is getting so much buzz and so much attention, I was just so intrigued to check it out. I wasn't moved in either direction. This was a solid reading experience for me. The poems in here are undeniably beautiful. The overarching theme of womanhood and feminism and women empowerment, that is so strong and so important. And that theme alone just sat so deeply with me. But the individual poems in here, there would be one that would really hit me, and then there would be 5, 6 more that would just kind of roll right off of me. And so the sentiments that I had while reading this poetry collection were just kind of inconsistent for me. This collection is broken up into 4 parts, and the poems in part 3 were those were probably the poems that were really kind of blowing me away and made me stop and think. But I don't know, I think maybe this is definitely a collection that I want to go back to and read again. I do really like spoken word, and I like to hear poetry performed. I could be watching a poet on stage and she could say like two words, and I'd be like, yeah, I feel that. But it was good. It was good, but I wish I could say that I was head over heels in love with it like everybody else was. All right, that's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to support and watch this video. It really means a lot to me. So let me know down below how your February went and some of the books that you read, and please recommend some poetry collections down below, as well as some new adult contemporary novels that you think that, you know, I might be interested in or that you really, really enjoyed. So that's all I have for you. And behind the scenes look, I guess, I've been sneezing and coughing this entire video, so future me is going to have a lot of editing to do. So yeah, that's it, guys. Until the next video, stay cozy, and I don't know, is it flu season? Stay healthy, like drink tea, all that good stuff. I'll catch you guys later.